Now, it's because of Washington's open border policies that deadly fentanyl is flooding the United States. Fentanyl does not derive from Texas or from the United States. It comes across the border from Mexico, and it's killing Texans, and it's getting worse.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott there laying the whole rise in fentanyl deaths to the president's policies on the border. Henry Cuellar is a border congressman, a Democrat out of Texas. And, sir, welcome back to our program. Good morning to you.
Thank you so much.
You know so much about the open border policies. Is your governor right?
He's right in the sense that what's happening is that people are sent in one direction and then drugs are coming in another direction. They're very controlled and coordinated by the criminal organizations. And by the way, I was listening to your prior story. Those criminal organizations don't stop at the border. They have their connections there. They have their other sources and arms here in the U.S. So there are transnational organizations. So that's what we have to fight, is transnational organizations that just don't stop at the border.
Okay, so here's the fentanyl seizures in Texas now alone. In 2022, 7,338 pounds. Year prior, more than 7,000. 2020 was 1,700. 2019, it was 1,771. You have to think about how much that gets through that is not caught. And it gets out not just Texas, but 49 other states. What would you ask the head of the DEA when she joins us next hour?
Well, it certainly is, how do we cooperate with the state and the local governments and not just work separately? And I know they are doing that, but we got to do a lot more, because at the same time, we got to understand that most of the drugs, and you can ask this question, most of the drugs don't come in between the bridges. They actually come through the bridges. At one time, 90% of the fentanyl were coming through our bridges, so we got to make sure we have the right technology, the canines, the personnel out of bridges. But the problem is, as you know, Border Patrol right now in the southern part of the area from Laredo down to the valley, 60% of the Border Patrol agents are doing immigration processing, taking care of the migrants. 10% are doing the administrative, and only 30%, and I emphasize only 30%, are actually doing the checkpoints or at the river at the border. So when we have larger amount of drugs coming in, more people coming in, we have a lesser number of Border Patrol agents doing their work.
Okay, let me be clear about what you just said. Most drugs come across the bridges.
That is correct.
That means they're in vehicles, right? They're stowed away in cars and trucks. And
correct.
The inspection of those vehicles must be better if you want to stop it. Is that right?
That absolutely correct. We have been putting more money, and I've asked CBP to do a better job at getting that technology faster. There's been some delays, but we got to have that best technology at the border, the non-intrusive, where you can actually run the 18-wheelers without stopping them. So we need more of that technology, the canine, the personnel. And certainly whatever help we can get from the Mexican government.
You're in a tough re-election fight, sir. I know you're well aware of that. You're the last pro-life Democrat in Congress. And you just defeated a progressive in your home district. We'll see what happens in November. There was a poll out. I just want to share this to our viewers. Strong progressives. Do you believe America is the greatest country in the world? Only 28% agreed with that. Meanwhile, Hispanics, 70% believe with that statement. What's the difference?
Well, I don't know exactly why, but I will tell you this. Hispanics believe in country. They believe in God. We believe in community. I can tell you this. Those are some of the values that I learned from my mother, my father, Martin and Odilia Cuellar. It's instilled in us to love this country and make it a better place. And this is why when I run in South Texas, I'm a Democrat, but I'm an American first, I'm a Texan second, and then I'm a Democrat. And that's what we ought to do is, we got to put our country first.
Okay, we're one of those toss-up races down there in South Texas along the border, something we'll be watching in November. Thank you, sir. Henry Cuellar, the Democrat from Texas. Thank you, Sandra.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.